Hey everybody, it's Jimmy and Bill. So what we did is we did part one video about how the housing market is starting to tumble in Florida. It's an opinion piece. We're going over an article in Newsweek, you know. So basically what they were talking about is that the condos market is in trouble, and we did a couple of videos on that. So watch the first video. And then we started talking about insurance, okay? And insurance, I don't care how you cut it, how you slice it.
Insurance is insane.
This is an insurance crisis in Florida, okay? And we talked about that, so in part one of this video. So now this is part two. So we're gonna continue the article. So make sure that you watch part one, and I'll put the link below, because this is an important subject, because Florida is changing, and it's changing because of affordability.
Right. And you know, somebody said the other day, Floridians can't afford Florida.
No.
Because our wages are so different here in Florida than they are compared to other areas of the country. Not all areas of the country. I'm not talking everywhere. You know, some places we're significantly better. But my point is that typically Floridians can't afford Florida. I mean, look at the median price now in the state. There's just the median price. That's taking every home sale, cutting it down the middle. It's $404K roughly.
Isn't that ridiculous? I remember back in the day, you know, of course, I'm
not
going
even
back
that far.
Not even that far. It was much more affordable.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking maybe even 5-6 years ago, we were in the 298, 350-ish range.
Like 10, you know, during the last crash, okay, 2011, 12, okay, when I bought my house. You're talking about just in my neighborhood, the houses for 210, 220. Now try to touch a house below 700.
Right. Yeah.
Like we always said, you made more money off the equity growth in your house than you did at your job.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's an insane thing, and Florida is becoming a playground for the rich.
Right, and I mean, look at the supply and demand issues that we've had, right? Even during COVID and post-COVID, where our equity gains in the properties has gone through the roof. Even if you bought at the peak, you're still up. It's crazy. You may not like break even. You may just break even, or maybe lose if you were to sell. But I'm saying, like,
okay, let's say I gained 600,000 on my house equity, just hypothetically. Okay.
Okay.
And now the value of my house dropped 100 grand. I'm still up 500 grand.
Right. From when I purchased it. Right. So percentage-wise, because that's how usually these numbers are done. So let's say you gained 55%.
Yeah.
And then I think the last article we talked about, some of the prices have dropped 20%.
Well, like,
you're still up.
You send me that report every month on my house. It's, I don't know, it's like a summary saying, oh, this is how much you pay for it, this is how much equity you have, this is how much you gain. That's where I'm getting this number from. I forgot what that thing is called. But every month I get it in my email. It's pretty interesting stuff. So if anybody wants one of those, get in touch with Bill.
Yeah, just let me know, and I'll put you the numbers in the system.
So let's continue on this article, and do me a favor. It really motivates us. It's much appreciated. Subscribe. It helps out more than you know.
It does.
So Bill, go ahead.
All right, so last time we left off with home insurance in 23 cost about $6,000 according to III, the highest average premium in the country. While demand is low and people are seeking cheaper properties, Florida's home prices are still rising because supply remains low. That's pretty much where we left off in the last article, and kind of what we surmised here. So while the lowest housing affordability in 4 decades has drastically reduced demand for homes pushing existing single-family home sales to their lowest level since the great financial crisis, a stimulus reduction in supply is keeping a floor under prices, Moody Analytics housing economist Matt Walsh told Newsweek.
Hey, you want to hear something funny? Because I know the applications are down. I don't know if it's true, but another YouTuber talked about this today, and I watched them. They said today, Rocket Mortgage is not going to originate loans anymore.
Really?
Nope, they're getting out of that part of the market. They're going to go through brokers and third parties, but they're not going to have a retail section.
They're going to be a facilitator.
Yeah,
to a third party.
Yeah, and they're servicing, you know, billions of mortgages. But for them to get out of it, it's a big deal. Now, listen, I got this information from another YouTuber, verify it, but that's what he was talking about. Yeah. So, I mean, what do you think?
I mean, it goes back to insurance, like we said. Supply is still low. We're not going to build ourselves out of this, even though we're seeing a ton of building, particularly in our area here. While demand is low and people are seeking cheaper properties, Florida's home prices are still rising because supply remains low. While the low housing affordability in 4 decades has drastically reduced demand for homes, pushing existing single-family home sales to their lowest level since the great financial crisis, a simultaneous reduction in supply is keeping a floor under prices. Moody Analytics housing economist Matt Walsh told Newsweek. So it's boosting. It's keeping everything from dropping. That's what's keeping things from coming down. That makes sense.
But, I mean, how long do you think that will last?
Prices are still rising because people are still paying for houses. Equity is still growing. I don't know. Who knows? Nobody can predict that.
But if inflation comes back and the economy tanks and layoffs start, it all goes back to the employment numbers.
It's
a big cycle.
Right.
You know, if people start losing their jobs, you know, like FHA, again, somebody else said this. Okay, I didn't read it myself, but they said 11% default on FHA loans.
FHA loans are typically a little more risky anyway.
Yeah, they put 3% down.
Right, 3.5%, yep.
Yeah, so 11% default is pretty damn high.
So going on, it starts to talk about the condo market is displaying a similar dynamic to the market for single-family homes. While Walsh explained, transaction volumes are low, but prices as measured by Moody's Analytics home price index continue to climb. Nevertheless, the pace of appreciation is slow, and this is most pronounced among the most expensive condo units. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, the higher priced ones are only going to increase in value so much.
Yeah.
Over time. So, because they're already kind of at the top of the peak, so they're the leader of the pack for that. That makes sense. I would expect transaction volumes to be a little lower because they were low pre-COVID, before the rush to getting into the condos, which drastically increased the property values in the sale prices. I mean, just look at those condos, the one that you just did down on Sand Key.
Oh yeah.
You know, if you go back to let's just call it 2019, 2020, that same condo that was just 800 and change was in the mid 4s.
Really?
That was the average in that area for that unit. Now, a lot of people have gone in and renovated them, don't get me wrong. There's other reasons outside of just the COVID stuff that's caused those to go up. But people have, you know, the demand for those went through the roof because we didn't have any inventory. So
people started selling. And I talked to him again. You know what his HOA fee is? $1,200 a month.
Yeah, I would say they're up because I know that one building is
$1,200 a month.
Right. You know, you know me. I'm a big proponent of like looking into what that covers. Like, okay, you got your lawn. It covers your water. It covers your trash. It covers your cable. But it's $1,200.
It's an 1,100 square foot condo for 800,000 and change.
Right.
You know, with
it's 2-bedroom, 2-bath.
With over $1,000 HOA fees.
Yeah.
And
I mean, you're on the sand. Don't get me wrong. You're on the sand, literally on the sand. But still, $1,200 a month.
Just to look at water.
Just to look at the water. I'll drive to the beach.
Oh, put a digital photo up of water while it's moving and everything. You know, right. save on that. You know.
Exactly. Yeah. But you're gonna goes back to what we were saying in the last segment. You know, it's the affordability of condos on the water. I'm talking on the water. In this particular instance, it's going to be for the rich.
The whole Florida is going to be for the rich.
I don't know about every square inch of Florida, but I mean, you're getting
All right,
there.
yeah, there's some areas that, you know, some areas maybe not, but I'm talking about all the fun areas, the recreational areas, the water areas.
But that's what you would expect, right? I mean, if you think about it, that's when you buy something when it's not fun to live there, and then you sit on it for long enough, and then hopefully you'll make some money on it, you know? So, yes, because, you know, there was a time, believe it or not, there was a time when Dunedin was not cool. You couldn't have paid me to live in Dunedin.
Really?
Yeah. Remember, I grew up there. So it's like, Dunedin, it was not the cool town you see it is today. It was a sleepy little town with like a couple disheveled stores.
Like Cedar Key kind of style? I like Cedar Key, but
yeah, Cedar Key's pretty nice. But I mean, it was probably even less than Cedar Key.
Okay.
And I mean, you know, it was Dunedin. It was like, you know. And the city has done a fantastic job bringing it to where it is today. There weren't festivals, there weren't all the, you know, it was just small little shops.
Okay, but at the end of the day, okay, according to this article, part 1 video and part 2, which we're doing now, my opinion, this is my personal opinion, I think that the housing in Florida is in trouble. I think it's in big trouble. And I don't think it's because of mortgage rates. I don't think it's because of lack of demand. I think it's because of insurance. And the only way that they're going to solve it is if the state comes in like Citizens and say, you know what, we'll just insure everybody. Because you're going to need a state or federal. You're going to need
something to control. We need some regulations.
You're gonna need
that stuff.
Yeah.
And we need some more vendors in the state again to bring the prices back down.
Yeah, but some of them, you know, some of them are coming in, but they're asking for 55% increases.
Right. Yeah, because they can.
Right.
You know, because everybody's trying to mitigate their loss from the 2 storms that we had, which is a whole nother topic, you know, when it comes to insurance. But I mean, I don't know. It's
Eddie Murphy's brother. Eddie Murphy's brother.
I mean,
it's tough.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying, well, you know, insurance companies can't just raise rates; they have to get approval from the state. All the insurance companies have to do with the state saying, hey, we want to increase our rates 60%. If not, we're leaving.
Right.
And they're like, okay. What are they going to say?
Yeah, it's
I'll argue with
a simple problem.
I will argue with anybody that's saying that the Florida housing market is not in trouble because of insurance.
No, insurance is crazy, even for homes. Now, it might not be affecting you yet, but rest assured, it's coming.
Why do you think so many people are paying cash for homes now? It increased so much because they don't have to have insurance.
Right. Well, I mean, that's the smart thing. If you don't need insurance, or you can get like super basic insurance, that's a way to save money.
Yeah, so you buy a house, you know, and you buy a house. Yeah, harden it, like, you know, I did at my house.
Right.
I put impact windows, roof, and all
straps, all that good stuff.
Yeah, and my house is, you know, even the garage door. And fire theft and liability.
Right.
My luck, a freaking tornado would show up in my backyard.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
But, you know, otherwise, what are you paying? $6,000-7,000?
Right. Yeah.
In Miami, that's what, you know, in South Florida, the average price is about $6,000.
If you're close to the coast, it's about $6,000 here too, just for flood. Think about it. We got a quote for a guy that's over on the water in Newport Richey. It was $6,000. It was almost $6,000. It was like $5,000 and change, just for flood. Like, it's crazy. And that's like the norm right now.
Yeah, I know.
That's insane. Like, it's $6,000 just for your flood insurance policy plus your mortgage.
So anyways, at the end of the day, I agree with the article.
Yeah.
I think that they hit it straight on. I think condos are in trouble.
Yes. Yeah, I think you're going to see some deals in the next couple of years. There's going to be some deals in condos, but it goes back to like what Miami's doing. These deals in condos now, you know, these big investors target that stuff, and then they go and make them into these super luxury condos.
Yeah.
For the rich.
And I think that the housing is going to get hurt just because of insurance. You know, who cares what the mortgage rate is? I mean, that's important, but hey, if the insurance, sometimes, you know, insurance can become just as expensive as your mortgage payment.
Yeah.
Cash is king. You can do whatever you want then.
Yeah, and then that probably will create another problem, so we'll see how that pans out.
Yeah, because you know what's going to happen too, like it happened down south? A lot of people down south didn't have insurance. They got wiped out.
Mm-hmm.
And the federal government, from what I read, you know, came in and said, oh, you don't have insurance, you're wiped out. Don't worry, we'll take care of you. And the people that had insurance are still fighting with the insurance company
to get paid so they can rebuild. Yeah, I don't know. I read the same stuff, so I don't know.
But I don't know if that's true. But anyways, that's today's video. Do me a favor, check out part 1 and everything will make sense to you. Leave your opinions below because we want to hear what you guys have to say about this. And it's greatly appreciated, like always. Really big motivation. If you can subscribe, it really helps out. Thank you, and we'll talk to you in the next one.
See you on the next one.
Bye.